because I think a lot of stuff is being said, and even though it's celebrity news, we be like, nah, we don't need to talk about celebrity news. We kind of do. We kind of do. I don't know if y'all know, but Jada is coming out with a memoir. A memoir. And it's talking about her and the relationship with Will Smith. So if we're not talking about today, you give it about a week and we all gonna be talking about what you're talking about in that memoir. Everybody is gonna be discussing what's talked about in that memoir. So sorry, I got my drink. So everybody finna be on this. And in this memoir, she talks about, and this has been coming out, it's been trickling out last couple of days. And I was wondering where all this new information is coming out. Like, why is they still talking? Why is she still embarrassing? But this is in the memoir. Supposedly, her and Will Smith have been broken up for like 7 years. Now, people think, well, my personal opinion is I think she's trying to clean up her act, because she got busted with the entanglement, quote, unquote. So this is a way to kind of clean up her act. Like, no, we wasn't married. That's why I was messing around. But you didn't say that when you was talking about the entanglement. You let everybody know that you was married. Now, we as Black folks, we know if we're going to talk about something like that, we're going to bring it all out. And now she's saying that they definitely wasn't together during the Oscars. And she thought it was just a skit. She was like, in her mind, why is this dude slapping Chris? Because we're not really married anymore. So why is he getting upset? Did y'all see the way that Jada looked at him and kind of prompted him to go up there and slap that dude? Like, y'all seen that. Like, everybody in the world seen that. So no, something's going on here. So the question I'm asking, and y'all can answer, if you're on Facebook, you can tap in. We're on live on Facebook. If you on YouTube, you can tap in. Make sure you're sharing it, make sure you're liking it, and make sure you subscribe. Y'all hit that subscribe button so we can get some more viewers and followers. All right, cool. So with that being said, I think it's about money. Now, what they're saying is that Will and Jada never had a prenup, which is some of the craziest shit I've ever heard. That Will and Jada never had a prenup. But like Will Smith's career like really, really took off after he was with, it was already, they both had a career. But as far as making movies and being the biggest movie star in the world, like that was beyond his dreams. He never thought, I don't think, that he was gonna be like the biggest movie star out there. And so these type of things happen after Jada. In my opinion, I said it before, is Jada kind of gave him that hard edge because Will Smith was supposed to be like a Brian Gumble type person. You know what I'm saying? Like Alfonso, how Alfonso is and how we look at Alfonso and the Black community don't really respect him, like that. And we all know they was goofy back in the days. They was doing the Fresh Prince. It was fun. The Fresh Prince, his rapping, all that shit was kind of goofy. You know what I'm saying? And the Black community, we wasn't really respecting that a whole lot. So it's like he had to get with somebody who had that rough edge. Somebody who, and Jada just got finished fucking with Pac. You know what I'm saying? We gave Pac mad respect and all that. So, for him to link up with Jada was like, okay, this could work. You know what I'm saying? This could help toughen up my image, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? I won't be this goofy guy. And it did work. You know what I'm saying? He brought out some albums. He brought out Get Jiggy With It. We was like, oh, I don't know about that. Get Jiggy With It. Like, what the fuck is he talking about? But we roll with that shit. We roll with his goofy movies, Men in Black and all that. So we fuck with Will. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I think Jada was the one who provided that. And Jada just sat back and made her money. She didn't even act. She didn't do nothing. She sat back and said, I'm going to watch these kids. And Jada made that money through the whole time. Or she didn't really do nothing while Will was making that money. But now it's to a point where I think she wants out of the marriage. They've been separated supposedly for 7 years. But the only way to get out the marriage, if Will is the one who initiates the divorce, he got to pay up. He got to pay half of the money that he made. That's crazy. Plus, he probably gonna have alimony and all that shit because they still husband and wife. So he probably gonna have alimony and all that shit. So it's gonna be expensive. Probably one of the most expensive divorces you've ever seen. You know what I'm saying? And I think she's out there embarrassing him now because she wants out of the marriage. You can tell Jada hates Will. She hates Will's guts. And that's not hard for a woman to do. When a woman that you supposed to be with see you with other females and shit like that, they're gonna develop a real quick hate for you. A hate that is unlike nothing else. And that's what you see. I've never had a girl that go out there who's my girl. I've never had a girl go out there and just want to embarrass me like that. You know what I'm saying? That is a problem. Like, you got kids, you got grandkids that probably gonna come if your kids are straight, but you got, you know what I'm saying? You got kids out there. So them hearing this and seeing you being done like this is not a good look, especially for your son. You know what I'm saying? So I got this video, y'all. I want y'all to watch it. We're gonna watch it together, and I want y'all to check this out. It's gonna tell y'all a lot about what's going on. And like I said, make sure y'all share this. Make sure y'all like, comment, however y'all want to do it. Let's get this shit popping. Johnny live, bring it to you the only way I know how to bring it to y'all. Check this out right here.
Will Smith is speaking out about his 7-year separation from Jada Pinkett Smith and her bombshell memoir, Worthy.
Jada and I have, we weathered some storms.
He's always willing to suffer. And now, in this new passage of our relationship, he's learning how to suffer differently.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Will Smith has finally broken his silence on Jada's new book, and although a lot of people were screaming at Will to file for divorce, it turns out Will won't divorce Jada because they don't have a prenup. So there's been a lot of speculation lately about the possible reason why Jada is using every opportunity to embarrass Will in public, and fans are baffled as to why Will simply doesn't file for divorce. Well, it turns out money could be the reason, because Will and Jada don't have a prenup, and fans are speculating that everything that Jada has been doing lately is part of her plan to push Will to file for divorce papers, because if he's the one who initiates the divorce, he'd have to give her half of his money. Jada hasn't had an acting career in years. Earlier this year, her talk show, Red Table Talk, was canceled. And she's now got a new book coming out, which seems like nothing but a cash grab. Anyway, Will has now broken his silence on Jada's new memoir. And based on what he said, it sounds like it all really does come down to money.
You know why I never got divorced?
It's cheaper to keep me.
No.
So Jada Pinkett Smith is continuing with the promo tour for her upcoming memoir, Worthy. And every day she makes it more clear that she absolutely can't stand her husband, Will. During a recent interview with Hoda Kotb, Jada dropped a bombshell, revealing that she and Will have been living separate lives since 2016. And she also said that when Will slapped Chris Rock at the Oscars last year, she thought it was a skit because she didn't expect Will to defend someone who technically isn't his wife. I am unclear on the reason why Will is so upset, Jada said. We have been living separate lives and we're there as a family, not as husband and wife. But when I hear Will yell wife in the chaos of the moment, an internal shift of, oh shit, I am his wife. As for the reason why she simply didn't file for divorce, Jada told Hoda that she made a promise that she and Will would work through all issues no matter what.
I made a promise that there will never be a reason for us to get a divorce. We will work through whatever. And I just haven't been able to break that promise.
But you still live separately.
We live separately.
Now, if you're confused how living separately and having entanglements with other people counts as working through your marriage issues, you're not the only one, because none of this makes any sense. Will and Jada are already living like a divorced couple. They've both been involved with other people since their separation, and all their children are adults. So what's the point of staying legally married? Well, it turns out that the reason could be money. See, a lot, if not most, Hollywood marriages are business arrangements, and it looks like Will and Jada's situation is no different. But unlike most Hollywood couples, Jada and Will never signed a prenup. And in her recent interview with Parade Friday, Jada again claimed the reason why they didn't want a prenup is because they believe that divorce is not an option. No matter what, we're going to figure it out, and that's why we don't need a prenup, Jada said, because I'm making a promise that divorce won't be necessary, that we will figure this out. But this whole idea that divorce is worse than a bad marriage might have something to do with Will's guilt over his first marriage. See, in his 2021 self-titled memoir, Will talked about how he was a terrible husband to his first wife, Cherie Zampino, and he also admitted that he was the reason his first marriage ended. Divorce was the worst thing in my adult life, Will said. Divorce was the ultimate failure for me. I've heard a lot in my adult life, but I don't think anything touches the failure of getting divorced from my 2-year-old son's mother. So it sounds like Will carries a lot of guilt from the way he treated Cherie, especially when you take into account that he admitted he called Jada and asked her out the same day he signed the divorce papers with Cherie. But see, it was Cherie who ended up filing for divorce first because she realized Will wanted Jada. Throughout his marriage with Cherie, Will stayed in touch with Jada, and he recalled how after one of their conversations, he realized he picked the wrong woman. I had to get up from dinner when I had a realization that I wasn't with the person I was supposed to be with, Will said. I was sitting in a stall and I was crying and laughing uncontrollably, and I knew Jada was the woman I was supposed to be with, but I was never getting divorced. I went back out, sat down with Cherie, and started going back on with my life. However, Cherie immediately knew what she had to do and served Will divorce papers. But see, Will initially refused to go along with it until Cherie told him, "So you're gonna make somebody stay with you who doesn't love you?" That was the one that got me, Will said. Well, fans are now speculating that Jada is the one who wants a divorce. However, she wants Will to file first because that way she'd get half his money. Will, on the other hand, doesn't want another failure and knows it's cheaper to keep her. Take a look at this moment from Red Table Talk where Jada said this is the reason Will never filed for divorce. The way she said it so quickly sounded like this is something they previously discussed. However, Will tried to play it off as a joke and claimed he never filed for divorce because Jada is one of a kind.
You know why I never got divorced?
It's cheaper to keep me.
No.
I can't believe it. Oh my goodness.
Because I've never met anybody like you, and I knew if I wasn't with you, I'd be searching in vain for the rest of my life.
Aw, Willard.
See, sometimes he says the right thing.
The truth.
However, Jada was clearly never happy being married to Will, and fans are speculating that all these interviews that she's been doing are part of her plan to humiliate Will and push him to the point where he'd have no choice but to divorce her. One fan said, "My theory is Jada is broke if she ain't married to Will. Red Table Talk is gone, and he is 4 times her net worth. He won't divorce her because it's the only way to keep her from getting his money, so now she's going to lengths to embarrass him and force him into the divorce." And another fan added, "No prenup means Jada has to work twice as hard to get Will to divorce her, LOL. Jada now has an estimated net worth of $50 million, while Will's net worth is said to be around $350 million. And at this point, Jada's main source of income and fame is sharing too much information about her relationship and family. As for Will, his career did suffer a temporary setback after the Oscars slap. However, he's now back on track, and according to his IMDb page, he's got 5 big-budget productions in the making, including sequels to Bad Boys and I Am Legend. So basically, it sounds like Jada really wants Will to divorce her. However, he doesn't want to file the papers for 2 main reasons. He'd lose half his money, and plus, he clearly has this idea that divorce is somehow a personal and moral failure. And Will has now broken his silence on Jada's upcoming memoir and seemingly confirmed that he's never going to divorce her. In an email sent to the New York Times, Will said reading Jada's book was a wake-up call and made him understand how Jada had lived a life more on the edge than he'd realized, and she is more resilient, clever, and compassionate than he'd understood. When you've been with someone for more than half of your life, a sort of emotional blindness sets in, Will wrote, and you can all too easily lose your sensitivity to their hidden nuances and subtle beauties. Also, during Jada's recent appearance on the On Purpose with Jay Shetty podcast, Jay read a letter that Will wrote for Jada.
I also have a letter from Will. "You are one of one, a rare blend of power and delicate sensitivity. I know it wasn't easy to excavate the depths in that way. I applaud and honor you. If I had read this book 30 years ago, I definitely would have hugged you more."
Yeah, it sounds like Will's never signing the divorce papers. However, fans are saying this whole situation is so bizarre because Jada never has anything remotely as sweet as this to say about Will. In fact, almost everything she shared about him in public was negative. One fan said, "No, his response just makes the whole thing sadder and weirder." And another person wrote, "I can't be the only one who thinks these two deserve each other. I feel like they're perfectly willing to do emotional damage to their children and each other as long as they make money and stay relevant." But what do you think is the real reason Will won't file for divorce from Jada? Is it really just money?
So, as y'all can see, this is about to get crazy. This memoir about to drop. I've never noticed that. You never see Jada saying good things about Will. That's crazy. And just being around him, she looks uncomfortable. You see how, and look, and that's what I'm saying. You see how goofy Will look right about now? I mean, yeah, he make moves as an actor, but in real life, he's a goofball. And that's cool. Some females like that. Some females like that goofiness. You know what I'm saying? But not Jada. Jada is going for the hard Agostina, whatever that guy's name. She wants somebody with a hard edge, and she wants somebody younger right now. You know what I'm saying? She still look good or whatever, but I don't know, man. She has a pretty face, but she's skinny. She ain't got nobody. Jada has nobody. Like, I don't get it. I truly don't get it. Like, really, a pretty face like hers will take you a long way in life. But you can tell that she's very smart. And I do give it to her. She's very smart. She's always been that way. It's always been very smart. But even like on A Different World, her and Whitney was like the skinniest girls on but I mean, to each his own. Most guys I know, they want somebody who's thick. You know what I'm saying? And no, Jada's not that. But like I said, she's very intelligent and all that. So, I mean, I could definitely see why he's attracted to her, or why anybody would be attracted to her for that matter, because she's very beautiful. She's very, even with no hair, she's gorgeous. She's very beautiful. I give her that. But right now she's appearing. It to us, it looks like she's evil and conniving, and because she's doing this to a guy, her husband. But in the sense, the Will is being selfish. He's not letting her out of a relationship because he wants his money. He wants every penny of his money, which I don't understand. You can't leave with it. I mean, you messed up. You got with this girl. You might as well give her half now, cut your losses, and try to make it back. You know what I'm saying? She gonna live wealthy regardless. And the longer you try to stay with her, the longer you try to keep her on your arm because of your money, the more she's gonna embarrass you. And I just think that's crazy. But it might backfire. I think it's kind of backfired on Jada because everybody looking at her like she's a monster. But she'll tell her story. I'll tell you what, females stick together. She'll tell her story that Will's kind of keeping her captive as far as in this marriage, if that's the case. But it's not a good look. Like the lady said at the end, it's not a good look for the kids. It's not a good look. So do what you gotta do, Will, man. Get up out of it, man. You should have signed that prenup. Eddie was telling us back in the days they won't have Eddie. So, we're gonna leave out with that. My name is Johnny. I bring it to you the only way I know how to bring it to you, live and direct. If you didn't catch it, rewind it, watch it back, tell me your thoughts, tell me your comments. Like I said, if you're on YouTube, make sure y'all subscribe to my page, and we out.